Well, this was as I understand it, this was the fifth year of this conference. And for the first time, the session today was focused on audit committees of listed entities. And in particular, the topic of my talk this morning on the new Auditors Report should be of keen interest to audit committee members of listed entities for a number of reasons, including the fact that they have oversight responsibility for the audit, and therefore should have an interest in what the auditor is communicating to users of those financial statements, and therefore should also be interested in the process, what's involved in this extended auditor reporting, what implications there might be for the ongoing dialogue and communication with management and with the audit committee. So a lot of very good reasons for them to be particularly interested in this topic. In short, I would say the Auditor's Report has not changed in substance for many, many years. And over time, there have been various academic studies looking at users' perceptions of the value of the Auditor's Report. And the most recent series of academic research conducted by the IAASB indicated that users still saw value in the Auditor's Report, particularly in the opinion that's issued, but also believed that the Auditor's Report could be more informative, could provide more useful and relevant information for investors to make better informed decisions. So that was the initial impetus behind the IAASB project. And as I mentioned this morning, the project then gathered some momentum in the wake of the financial crisis, when users and others were asking even more questions about the role of the auditor and the value of the audit, and believe that increased transparency into the audit through additional communication in the Auditor's Report would be a useful way to add value to the process. I think by far the aspect of change that has received the most attention is the concept of key audit matters. And generally that is, in the auditor's judgment, the small list of matters or number of matters that the auditor believed were of most importance in the current year's audit. Generally speaking, that would be matters where the auditor devoted significant auditor attention or had significant dialogue or interaction with management or the audit committee. And in practice, for those countries that have already started to adopt extended auditor reporting, the types of matters that would be identified as key audit matters could be impairments, income taxes, other types of significant transactions, revenue recognition, contingent liabilities, and certain provisions, generally speaking related to areas of the financial statements that involve the most complex judgments, not only by management but by the auditor in the audit. Clearly, key audit matters for some has been the big ticket item. I will say that the IAASB spent a great deal of time thinking about going concern, the area of going concern. Many stakeholders had expressed a desire for the auditor to provide more information about the topic of going concern, as well as management providing better disclosure about areas of events or underlying conditions that might contribute in some way to an entity's ability to continue as a going concern. So the IAASB did make some changes to make going concern more prominent in the auditor's report. For example, a better description of the responsibilities of the auditor and management, for going concern, a more prominent discussion or a paragraph when a material uncertainty has been identified, as well as giving the auditor a requirement now to consider the adequacy of disclosure, even in instances where there was no material uncertainty for going concern. So just a little more prominence while the IAASB continues to explore this area with the accounting standard setters around the world. So going concern would be one area. Another area I would mention just the placement of the auditor's opinion. The IAASB heard from many stakeholders that they continue to value the opinion. It's one of the first things they look at. So why not put the opinion first in the auditor's report? A prominent position to indicate first of all, the pass-fail nature of the opinion, as well as the fact that it's an opinion on the financial statements as a whole before the auditor gets into a discussion of other specific matters that were dealt with during the audit. The feedback that I have had thus far is positive. A few months ago, I was part of a delegation from the IAASB that met with some stakeholders here. There was quite a lot of support and enthusiasm for the changes, and that certainly now has been exhibited in the IRBA approving the adoption of the new auditor reporting standards in South Africa with early application, and indeed a couple of listed entities and their auditors have already taken advantage of the early application and issued the extended auditor's report. There was a very nice interview that was done by SICA, and that is available on their website. I would encourage anyone to have a look at it. Very good discussion between the audit partner and the chief financial officer of the entity, talking a lot about the process and expressing a great deal of support for not only the process but for the benefits of the additional information. The IAASB will continue to work with various standard setters around the world, as well as other stakeholders, to monitor the adoption and implementation of these new standards. The IAASB has already provided some materials to help promote awareness and acceptance of the new auditor's report, but readily acknowledges that it's a shared responsibility and that standard setters and others around the world need to do their part to promote awareness and support effective implementation. But indeed, the IAASB and its staff will continue to meet with stakeholders, to talk about their experiences, and in fact has also committed to a post-implementation review a couple of years down the road to make sure that in fact the objectives that were set out to be achieved with the new auditor's report are in fact being achieved.